They say monsters are born, but some were crowned. While kings led armies and tyrants burned empires, these women killed in silence, with poison, knives, and deception sharper than any blade. History tried to erase them, but their darkness still whispers through the centuries. This is the story of the most violent women history tried to forget. Behind every gilded throne, behind every portrait of grace, there are shadows. And inside them, women who ruled through fear. Queens, killers, torturers, each one rewriting what it means to be feared. Tonight, we uncover 8 women whose cruelty changed the course of history, and whose stories were buried for a reason. 1. Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess. She was nobility, refined, untouchable. Yet within her castle walls, the screams echoed for years. Elizabeth Bathory, a Hungarian countess born into privilege, lured young peasant girls with promises of work. Instead, they met a nightmare. Witnesses claimed she beat, burned, and drained them, all in pursuit of eternal youth. They called her the Blood Countess. When she was finally caught, over 600 victims were rumored dead. Her punishment? Not execution, but a living tomb. She was sealed behind brick walls in her castle until death took her. Slowly. 2. Wu Zetian, the Empress of Death. She began as a concubine. She ended as China's only female emperor. But Wu Zetian's rise was soaked in blood. It's said she strangled her own infant daughter just to frame a rival. Her enemies vanished overnight, their names erased from records. She executed scholars, ministers, even family. And yet she transformed China's empire, expanding its borders, elevating women, and reshaping its future. Was she a visionary ruler or a merciless tyrant? History still can't decide. 3. Irma Grace, the Beautiful Beast. She was only 22 when she earned her infamous title. A concentration camp guard under Nazi Germany, Irma Grace wore cruelty like perfume. She beat prisoners until they collapsed, unleashed dogs on starving inmates, and carried a whip she used without hesitation. To many survivors, she was the face of hell. When she was captured after the war, witnesses said she smiled and even as she was sentenced to hang. Evil, it seems, doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes, it looks ordinary. 4. Catherine de' Medici, the Queen of Poison Elegant. Regal, ruthless. Catherine de' Medici ruled France from the shadows, a queen mother pulling every string. She turned espionage into an art. Her network of spies, assassins, and poisoners stretched across Europe. Her gloves were said to be lined with toxins, her gifts laced with death. And when religious tensions exploded, she orchestrated the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre, where thousands were slaughtered in one horrific night. Catherine's legacy was written in perfume and blood. 5. Delphine Lalaurie, the Madame of Madness. New Orleans, 1830s. A grand mansion on Royal Street hides a nightmare. Madame Delphine Lalaurie was admired for her beauty and wealth, until firefighters discovered what lay behind her doors. In her attic, enslaved people were found chained, mutilated, their bodies broken by years of torture. Neighbors had whispered for years, but no one imagined the truth. Lalaurie fled the city before she could be punished, vanishing into legend as one of America's most sadistic women. Her house still stands today, said to be haunted by the screams she left behind. 6. Mary Ann Cotton, Britain's first serial killer. They called her a widow, but every man who loved her died. In Victorian England, Mary Ann Cotton was a quiet mother, moving from town to town. Wherever she went, death followed. Husbands, children, even friends. Her secret weapon? Arsenic. She'd lace meals with poison, collect life insurance, and disappear. By the time authorities caught her, 21 people were dead, all for money. At her execution, she sang a lullaby on the gallows, a chilling reminder that evil can hide behind the gentlest smile. 7. Ranavalona I, the Mad Queen of Madagascar. When she took the throne in 1828, she vowed to protect Madagascar from outsiders, but she became its greatest terror. Ranavalona I ruled through paranoia and pain. She executed nobles, burned enemies alive, and forced thousands into labor camps. Foreign missionaries fled her wrath. Her subjects lived in fear. By the time she died, the island's population had dropped by nearly half. To some, she was a patriot. To others, a monster. 8. Ilse Koch, the Witch of Buchenwald. Her name still chills survivors. Ilse Koch, wife of a Nazi camp commander, became infamous for her sadism. She was accused of selecting prisoners for death, not for military reasons, but for art. Witnesses claimed she kept human skin as decoration, even lampshades. She laughed during beatings and called it discipline. At her trial, she showed no remorse. Her crime became a symbol of moral decay in the darkest chapter of humanity. Each of these women wore different masks: noblewoman, queen, mother, patriot. But behind them all lay the same truth. The capacity for cruelty knows no gender. History buried their names not to forget them, but to protect us from remembering. Because once we stop asking how they became monsters, we risk creating new ones. So tell me, which story disturbed you most? Leave your thoughts below. And if you crave more hidden horrors and dark truths, subscribe to the Shock Files, where we uncover the secrets history tried to hide. Because the past always comes back.